Hello and welcome to your messages for the week. Today is Sunday, the 4th of June, 2023, and we're going to be using the cards to find out what messages for us and what divine guidance there is for us coming through at this time. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I know there's a few new people because every time the lovely Mark Attwood shares one of my videos, I get a little flurry of new subscribers. So if you have come via Mark, then welcome. Lovely to have you here. If you are a Mark Attwood fan, I will put a link in the description and the video in the end screen of the chat that we had back in August 2020 it was. So it was just a few months after Mark started his channel, and I think we've all evolved rather a lot since then, but there's a lot of relevant points in that chat that we had. So check that out if you are a Mark Attwood fan. And if you are watching, Mark, lots of love to you as always. Now, if you are new to my channel, I do just want to invite you to have a browse around, because it's not just the monthly and weekly card readings that I do. I have a whole section called Lessons in Awakening, and I'm very passionate about that section, mainly because, first of all, it was kind of divinely guided. I had no idea why I was doing it. I just got the urge, the inspiration, and it just all came out, and they're like the 20-minute videos on various topics to do with raising your frequency and understanding how we create our reality, which in my opinion is the most important part of the Great Awakening. I see the Great Awakening as being twofold. One, waking up to, let's say, the denser energies that we've been living in, you know, the manipulation, the control, the evil, and a lot of stuff that we were not aware of. And we became aware of our own density within that, and how that isn't the real us. So we've been tapping into whatever it is that raises our frequency so that we can raise our reality above that of the density. So waking up to that density and the reality that we had been living in and programmed by, etc., is the first step. But that's quite a scary place to be if you wake up to all of that and you haven't woken up to how we create our reality, because it's the how we create our reality that's going to bring us heaven on earth. That's the bit that's going to bring us abundance and joy and peace and harmony and love for all of mankind and womankind. Mankind, man is innately kind. Okay, so let's create that community and that heaven on earth and the reality that we want. Now, we're all kind of wearing our own little virtual reality headsets, and we're all creating our own version of heaven on earth. So, and we're all on different timelines, right? Infinite possibilities. So what's heaven on earth for you may not be heaven on earth for me, but as a collective, we can obviously create a world that is governed, shall we say, by peace and love and harmony and acceptance, forgiveness, and all these other things, and no judgment. I want to stick in there. So the Lessons in Awakening section on my YouTube is about understanding yourself as a multi-dimensional being, and understanding the power and importance of our emotional energy body and our mental energy body, which is our fourth dimensional energy body, because that's what we're transcending at the moment. We are shifting those emotions that are low frequency, the ones that we don't want to have in our reality, and we're processing them. And that's why healing is so relevant, and energy healing in particular, of course, and also shifting our beliefs. If we're not shifting our beliefs, we're not evolving. So there's videos on the emotions, as I said, your thoughts, but also the importance of loving yourself, the importance of willingness. I use a lot the scale of consciousness from Dr. David Hawkins' map of consciousness to explain a lot of the frequency stuff. But there's videos on understanding triggers, the path to forgiveness, meditation for beginners. There's all sorts of stuff there that can help you tap into who you really are and understanding how we create our reality. Okay, and it really is about going back to that peace, love, and harmony that we innately are, which does include forgiving and understanding. I think the biggest point for me was my good friend and mentor, Liz Nagel, who I mention all the time, but check out her series of videos on my YouTube channel, Self Mastery with Liz Nagel. Whenever I have a difficult question, I ask her. But she was telling me, like, every day for 2 years, there is only you. There is only you. Everybody outside of you is a reflection of a part of you. That takes a long time to go from, it's a quantum truth, but to go from hearing it to actually keeping it within the cells of our body, to actually embodying it, to then actually applying it, and then actually realizing it. There's a process. We hear a lot of quantum truths, like time is an illusion. We hear this, we're not doubting it, but we just don't understand it with our human mind. There's a lot of quantum truths that applies to. So it took me a long time to actually embody that and to actually realize. And the other thing that helped me realize was understanding, it's the Rumi quote, that you're not just a drop in the ocean, you're the whole ocean in one drop. So you're not just a human being in the universe, you are the whole universe in one human being. And when you understand that you're the whole universe in one human being, you understand the importance of self-love, because that means when you love yourself, you're loving the whole universe. And yes, that does mean loving the things that you don't like. And that's kind of the work of understanding triggers, which is in the Lessons in Awakening, and also the work of Byron Katie. It's inner work, what can I tell you, to raise our level of consciousness if we want to access Christ levels of consciousness, and create heaven on earth. And that's kind of like, we need to go somewhere along that road somehow. Many roads to Rome, many paths to enlightenment. How we raise our frequency and expand our level of consciousness will be different for everyone. But fortunately, there's lots of people out there helping us, and lots of people out in the non-physical world helping us as well. But that could be another subject. So anyway, there's the twofold, waking up to how you literally create your own reality, because your reality is a reflection of the frequency and the cells within you. And if you're in denial about that, because in your reality there might be some greed, there might be some manipulation, some control, there might be some not pleasant things going on, and you're going to go, that's not me, I'm not that, right? And maybe in this lifetime, no, but we've all been everything. We've all been everything. And this comes up a lot in the past life healings that I do, because a lot of people resonate very readily with having been the victim in a past life. I mean, most of us kind of witchy types have, been hung or burnt at the stake or what have you. But we are the whole universe. We haven't only learned through being the victim. We've learned through our own unconscious behavior of being the perpetrator as well. Now, this is where we come into, let's have non-judgment. Let's stop judging, because, when people come to me to hear the past stories, their past life stories that have created an energy which is staying with them in this lifetime, it's repeating in this lifetime, that's what they've come for, because they want to release this kind of negative energy that's playing out again. I have to prepare them that they haven't always been very nice, and they haven't always been very conscious. And very often in the past life, at the time, we think we are being good and we are being conscious. But actually, when you see the bigger picture, you can see that you're not. Now, that's happening a lot in the world today, isn't it? Where people think that they're doing good, but actually aren't. So if we need to take away all judgment. Otherwise, we're just going to start pointing fingers at people, aren't we? And then when you point fingers at others, there's the 3 fingers pointing back at you, because we have been everything and everyone. And when we realize that, that really does help us move forward on the path to forgiveness, the path to understanding, the path to world peace, I want to say. Yeah, the path to self-love. So yes, rather a lot going on. There's also, if you if you understand that you need healing on some level, on an energetic level, emotional healing or belief healing, if you don't, you don't think you're good enough, you can't do stuff, you're having difficulty, finding your life purpose or what have you, I have a whole section called self-healing techniques. And there you can learn the sway test, muscle testing, and the emotion code, and all these healing modalities that I do. You can learn them for yourself. Obviously, you can get in touch for some coaching on it, but all the information that you need to do it yourself, free of charge, is all there on the channel. So check it out. That's what I wanted to say in a very long-winded way. So let's have a look at what cards are coming out for this week, so we can see what the messages are for this week. It's so funny because it's three again. I keep going until the cards tell me no more, and it's very often three. Three is the magic number. Let's check it out. I can't see what they are. There's your justice. Interesting, on the tail of what I've just said. This often happens as well. Sometimes I think I don't need to pull the cards. I can just start talking. They are just a tool for me to kind of channel whatever I want to say. But I know a lot of people like the cards, and so do I. And I like the confirmation because he's the karma card. He's the karma card, justice. What you reap, what you sow. You reap what you sow, but you may not have sown it in this lifetime. That's the point I want to say again, and also what we sow may not be on the same level. There's different levels going on. So very often, for example, I mentioned the past life healing, the repeat behavioral pattern, is not on the same scale as it was than the behavior that was in the past life story that comes up. It's just that it has an imprint. That energy has an imprint on the soul still, and that's why it's coming up for healing. So it doesn't always have to. It's like the mirror, when you're angry with somebody, when you're triggered by somebody, whatever it might be, when you have a negative reaction to something or someone outside of you, it's a mirror showing you that you have that frequency within you, because like attracts like on frequency. Your outside world is created from the frequency of you are an energy being, and we have lots of frequencies within us, because we have love, which is a high frequency within us, but we also have some anger and some grief, some anxiety, don't we, and some fear, and that's a lower frequency, of course. But whatever frequency, if you have a fear in the cells of your body, wherever it may be, it's going to get reflected back to you with a mirror, so with a magnifying mirror. Okay, so that we've got like 50 trillion cells, right? Well, Bruce Lipton says so. Other people say 70 trillion. I don't know. But anyway, we have trillions of cells. And this could just be a little tiny bit of jealousy or fear or manipulation or control or something in the cells of your body, right? It's not dominant. It doesn't override your whole life. You're a lovely, good person, but just in the cells of your body, because our cells are like, Bruce Lipton also says, your biography becomes your biology. So all these experiences, but not just in this lifetime, in other lifetimes too. And we're healing stuff now in the Great Awakening on behalf of our ancestors and on behalf of our culture and on behalf of the collective. So it goes on and on, deeper and deeper. We are the whole universe, remember. So this healing and cleansing process really is like the layers of an onion. And you start off with your own trapped emotions and limiting beliefs from this lifetime. And then you go into the next layer, which could be ancestral stuff. And then you go into the next layer, which could be past life stuff. And then go into the next layer. And then you realize that you're actually healing the collective when you heal yourself. And the wisest souls, the most mature souls, know this. And they also know that they heal, or we evolve most readily through adversity. which is why, as souls, a lot of the older, wiser souls have chosen the most adversity in their life, the most trauma. It's actually a soul choice, because we know that we grow through trauma. It was Bernie Siegel that said in his book, Love, Medicine, and Miracles. He said, when you experience an emotional trauma, you will grow. Whether you grow spiritually or whether you grow a tumor, the choice is yours. It's a cool quote, I think. So we do know that we grow through trauma. It gives us a chance to look at things from a different perspective, or we can go into victimhood. Okay, it's an opportunity for expansion or getting stuck in victimhood. So the oldest and wisest souls know this, so they actually give themselves the most trauma, because they know that as they heal themselves from their own trauma, they are healing the collective. They know that. And sometimes they bite off more than they can chew, which is why a lot of us get stuck in our trauma. And we're like, did I really bring this upon myself? And also the other thing relevant to that, I'm getting all of this from this card, something Dolores Cannon said to me. She didn't say it to me personally. Oh, that was so funny. She said it to me in her books, and I feel a bit embarrassed that it came out like that. She said it to me. She said it to me personally. No, what I say that, what I mean is that I read it in her book and it resonated. It went, sometimes you can read stuff and it goes over your head. Other times you can read stuff and it kind of goes in, maybe out. But sometimes you can read stuff or hear stuff on videos or what have you, and it hits a punch, and you get that kind of hair on end, goosebumpy kind of response, which is basically your resonance. That's your resonance to it, which is telling you that it's true for you. Anyway, so I was reading Dolores Cannon and she said, she was talking about at this time of the Great Awakening, even though she passed in 2014, obviously she knew this was all coming. And at this stage of the Great Awakening, all the souls wanted to come to be here for this massive, universal event. And then she made a comment about how for however short a time. So souls all want to be here for this time, and they would do anything to be here for this time, however short of time that was. And when she said however short of time that was, I was like, who would come for a really short period of time? How can you come for a really short period of time? You could be a walk-in perhaps, but then I realized it's the children, because the children have come for short periods of time. I'm getting goosebumpy now as I say it, because I think there's a lot of truth in this. Now, what's interesting about this is a really good example, I think, of how I managed to personally transmute grief, sadness, disgust, resentment, all those negative emotions. How can I transmute them into love? Okay, because this is what we want to do. Those emotions within the cells of my body is not good for me or anyone, right? Love is fantastic for me. And I felt a shift when I read those words from Dolores Cannon. I felt a shift because I had a realization that the children, and you all know who I mean when I say the children, they chose that on a soul level because they wanted to wake up humanity at this time of the Great Awakening. We have all come here to help raise the consciousness level of the collective. And oh my God, have they done it? Right. And I get really emotional, but I get emotional from love. Because what's happened is, instead of having those negative, that sadness, the grief, the resentment, the bitterness, all of this, instead of having those emotions, and revenge and all those negative emotions that were keeping me in victimhood, okay, and keeping me entangled with a reality where that exists. Do you see what I'm getting at? Whereas when I realized that, my heart, from my higher self, not Deborah's my human, who's doing a grand job. I know she's great, but as all you humans are, but my higher self is so much more than Deborah. And my higher self just realized that I could open my heart with love. just expand my heart with love and put all those children in it. And the love and gratitude, because they are the ones who have woken up humanity the most. They're the wisest, oldest souls who chose the worst kind of adversity in order to wake up humanity. And they did it. How much gratitude can we feel? So now when I think about the children, I literally do fill up with love, compassion, and gratitude. My gratitude is just immense. So from a perspective of humanity, you know, not from my small self, Deborah, but from my higher self, who can see the whole picture and can see humanity growing and expanding and learning and waking up to the love that we innately all are. And all these people that we're coming into contact with that have chosen such adversity in order to heal the collective. I mean, you know, it just makes you feel so much love. It makes you feel expanded. And that way, that's how we transmute those negative emotions into love, compassion, peace, harmony, gratitude, joy, the whole lot. And when we're vibrating at that frequency, we're not entangling with those energies, which means the reality that we create will have none of that adversity in it. That's how we heal the world of this kind of problem, by rising above it and doing it through love. It's a big ask, and there might be a big comeback actually from me saying things like that, because I know a lot of people don't get it, and I didn't get it for the longest time, but I had that experience myself. And I want to just share another experience, which I'm feeling to say it, so I'm going to say it. So I used to work at a school, and I loved the people that worked there. I had to leave, and I started my own energy healing activities, I'm going to call it. But there were people at that school that I absolutely loved, and still do. And the children, the staff, the parents, everything. And it was down the road from where I lived. And I heard from a friend that still worked there that the medical systems, this is going back a couple of years, the medical systems were going in to offer their services to the whole school in one go. And I was sitting in meditation at the time, and I felt this immense sadness come up, and I felt this immense hopelessness, sadness, grief, panic. I felt all these lower frequency emotions that could have made me react in a different way. But fortunately, I was in meditation. So I realized how much I loved the person that had told me this. Then I realized how much I loved all the children I had taught. Then I realized how much I loved all the other staff members. And then I realized how much I loved so many of the parents. And then I realized how much I loved the building. It actually used to be a children's mental hospital, and I could feel the energy of it. So I was always clearing energy when I was working there. A lot of people thought I was mad. But I remember how much I loved the whole experience of working there as well. And I just focused on the love. I focused on the love, and the love grew, and I could feel the love growing and expanding into every cell of my body, until in the end, my heart opened up with so much love that I had the whole school in my heart. I could feel the whole school in my heart, and I could feel the compassion, and I could feel the gratitude for the whole school because of all the things. It was the reason I had moved out here. You know, my son had been taught there. You know, I just had a lot of gratitude, and I could just feel these positive emotions as I put the whole school into the energy of my heart. Sounds really bizarre, doesn't it? And I had a little cry, which, you know, sadness or love, I don't know. It was coming from a place of love, but I released something, I don't know what. Anyway, you could say this is coincidence, and I don't care if you think it's coincidence or not, but I have loads of examples like this. I'm just picking these ones. The next day, I heard from the friend that had told me that the medical team hadn't been able to go that day, and they'd had to cancel that appointment. I don't think they came again. People went and did that on their own if they wanted to, but it wasn't done on a mass scale. So I don't know, but I do believe that we can change the world through love. I do believe, and I know how wacky that sounds. I really do. And I also realized that there's some new subscribers coming from Mark Attwood who might want to make horrible comments, but I don't care now. I follow Minnow Pond Tarot. I'll put a link into him as well. He's fantastic if you like tarot cards. Minnow Pond Tarot, and I was listening to him last night for June, and it just kept saying, you've got to do what comes to you. You've got to do what comes to you and not worry about the backlash. And so I thought, oh my God, I wonder how that's going to manifest. And I think I've just found out. Anyway, let's get back to the cards. The Justice card. You reap what you sow. Understand that you have been everyone and everything. Okay. And if you have any greed within you, manipulation, where have you been manipulative? Where have you been controlling? Are you trying to control your outcome? Are you trying to control the outcome of somebody else? It could be on a small scale, but if you're still trying to control something, even your own life, if you're trying to control something, don't be surprised if you come across a situation in your life that's controlling. And greed as well. We might think we're not that greedy. We're not greedy for money, maybe, but do you ever eat more than you need? Do you ever buy more clothes than you need? You know, do you ever wish that you had more money, even though you don't need it? That's greed on some level. Not a big level, I know, but it's greed on some level. So don't be surprised if you see something in your reality where people are being greedy. You know, it really does start within us. It starts within the cells of our body. This is the card Justice. This is the law of karma. The natural law of karma. It's about law, but obviously not legal law. It's about natural law. The energetic, the laws of the universe. You can't break them. You need to learn them so that you can flow with them, if that makes sense. Okay, let's move on. So the Seven of Pentacles, he is all about realizing, oh my goodness, I've just had a look at the third one. This is fantastic because hopefully with a lot of what I'm saying, you're going to realize that there's a new direction for you. You need to be living your life purpose. You need to be leaving that job that you hate. You need to be moving on away from the things that are holding you in victimhood, the things that are holding you in entanglement with the parts of the world that we don't want to bring forward into heaven on earth, the parts of the world that we don't want to bring with us into our future. We don't want it in our reality. And this card is saying that you have everything you need. Right, he's reflecting on his stockpile. So you have everything you need already. You have enough money. Pentacles is typically money. It typically stands for career, finance, and business. But because I don't like the word business, because businesses focus primarily on making money. That's their main objective. Whereas moving forward into heaven on earth, our main objective is to serve through our passions. Our main objective is to do what brings us joy, to do what excites us, to do what makes us feel good, and to follow our passions, and usually by serving others in the same way. And so that's why I talk about it as being a passion activity or an abundance activity, because when we do that, it's going to bring you an abundance. Now, that might not be an abundance of financial wealth, but it will be an abundance of health, happiness, joy, and financial security. There's always financial security there as well, but it just might not come in the ways that you think it will. That's a given. I have got a video actually on 3 things you need to know about money from an energetic perspective. So if you are into money and wanting to make more money and what have you, then check that out. I am no business guru, of course. Far from it. I'm all about raising your frequency and hitting that frequency of love. And then, you don't need a successful business. You just live the life that you're living and everything's beautiful and wonderful. So this pile is abundance. So you have the health to go forward, you have the inspiration to go forward, you have the financial security to go forward, you have the knowledge to go forward, you have the know-how, the expertise. A lot of people are thinking they're not ready to tap into their divine gifts. They're kind of waiting till they've improved them. But trust me, you improve on the job. Take the next step towards your passion, hobby, or whatever it is, broadening it, getting it out to more people. Okay, because Pablo Picasso said the meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to give it away. So you find your gift, whatever it might be. Let's just use tarot, for example, or yoga in my case, but tarot is a good example as well. Find your gift or find whatever your passion, use it to help raise your own frequency and to help tap into your own guidance and to help heal yourself, and then share it with others so they can do the same. So it's the same with your passion, hobby, whatever it might be. So for example, Mark's would be his poems. Okay, so you write the poems, that raises his frequency, it makes him feel good, it heals him, but then also he's sharing it with others, which brings an abundance to everybody. Do you see how it works? So what's your passion, hobby? Whatever it is, you need to be doing more of it. And whatever it is, you do have enough expertise in it. You are good enough. You might not think it, but just take a step forward into doing more of it, and you will find that the universe will bring you everything you need for your new journey. It's a leap of faith. Sometimes it's a leap of faith. Like when I left the school, I was, and to become, an energy healer or what have you. It's a massive leap of faith. But look at the Fool. He's amazing. I love this card. He's the first of the major arcana cards. The rays of the sun show how spiritually guided he is. But look, he's like Dick Whittington. Look how little he's taking forward. He has got that non-attachment down to a fine art, hasn't he? He's not attached to the materialistic world at all. He's got his faithful companion. He's got a song in his heart and a spring in his step. And I love this bit. The flower in his hand shows that wherever he goes, his frequency goes, because he understands that his future lies in his frequency. It doesn't lie in his bank account. And when you take a step, right, to whatever it is that's going to raise your frequency by offering your passion hobby to the world, or by just doing more of your passion hobby or whatever it might be, your passion activity, I want to call it, by just doing more. It could be in healing, or it could be writing, or whatever it might be. You might just be inspired to study yoga, or, what have you. It doesn't matter, right? Don't look for a financial outcome in the beginning. Look for nurturing your soul, raising your frequency, because that's how you're going to expand your level of consciousness. And then you'll take a leap of faith like he has done. And when you take a leap of faith energetically, let's keep looking at everything energetically. When you take that leap off a mountain or whatever, there is this energetic upthrust. It comes and it carries you, but you don't get to experience that until you've jumped. But it was so true. It was true for me as well. When I took, there's little leaps of faith all through our life, obviously, but when I took the big leap of faith from leaving the day job into doing what I'm doing now, it was scary because I had no idea how I was going to pay my mortgage. Right, but something just came up. Someone came, bought the house. Oh, that was fine. No mortgage. I mean, there's an upthrust, and then things fall into place in a way that tells you that there is a bigger picture going on. Things start happening for you, and you think, oh my God, there is a bigger picture going on. The universe has my back. I am meant to be going in this direction. Your higher self is guiding you all the time through your passions and through your joy, and we're meant to be following it. I think I have this idea that the souls are talking before we kind of incarnate. And how are we going to get each other to do the right thing in life? Well, we'll make it the most exciting thing to do. So they're going to want to do it all the time. It's going to bring them so much joy that they're going to want to go down that path. And then what happened when we incarnated in the density? We were told, you can't do that. You can't make money doing that. You've got to go to work and study something academic. And you could do that on a Sunday afternoon if you want. I mean, that's what we were told. And that's how we kind of, oh, you can't, life's a struggle. Life's difficult. You can't go around doing what you want all the time. That was the biggest lie, wasn't it? So let's get rid of that one. Yes, you can go around doing what you want all the time. In fact, you need to go around doing what you want all the time. Doing what you love is not a luxury, it's a necessity. Okay. And that's what he's doing. And it doesn't matter how little you have, because your future lies in your frequency, and you will have fruition wherever you go. Wow. I like that. That's a powerful 3 cards, a powerful 3 cards. I hope that resonated with you. Oh my goodness, it all came out. Interesting. Lots of love to you all. If you want a private reading, get in touch, link in the description, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Have a fantastic week. Take care. Bye for now.